Phishing is one of the most common and effective ways hackers gain access to your information. They disguise themselves as trusted entities, like your bank, employer, or a popular service. They'll send realistic-looking emails or messages urging you to click on a link or download an attachment. The link often leads to a fake website, where you unknowingly enter your login credentials or personal data. Some phishing emails even contain malware that infects your system upon opening the attachment. The best way to defend yourself is to verify the source of every message and never click on suspicious links. Malware, short for malicious software, includes viruses, worms, ransomware, and spyware. It's often delivered through fake software updates, email attachments, or infected websites. Once installed, malware can wreak havoc, stealing sensitive data, monitoring your activity, or even encrypting your files for ransom. In some cases, malware creates backdoors for hackers to access your system repeatedly. Always use reputable antivirus software and avoid downloading files from untrusted sources. Keyloggers are tools that record everything you type on your keyboard. Hackers install them on your device through phishing emails, malicious downloads, or even physical devices plugged into your computer. With this, they can capture passwords, banking information, and private conversations. Advanced keyloggers can even evade detection by hiding within legitimate programs. To protect yourself, use two-factor authentication and run frequent scans for malicious software. Public Wi-Fi is a goldmine for hackers. Free networks at airports, cafes, or hotels are often unsecured, making it easy for attackers to intercept your data. Using techniques like packet sniffing, hackers can monitor all the information you send and receive, including login credentials and credit card details. Even worse, they might set up fake hotspots that look legitimate, tricking you into connecting. Always use a virtual private network, VPN, when connecting to public Wi-Fi to encrypt your data. A Trojan, named after the mythological Trojan horse, disguises itself as a legitimate program or file. It tricks you into installing it, only to unleash malicious functions once inside your system. Trojans can create backdoors for hackers, steal sensitive data, or even turn your device into part of a botnet. The danger lies in how convincing they can appear, often mimicking trusted software. To prevent infection, only download software from official sources and verify files before running them. Zero-day vulnerabilities are flaws in software that developers don't yet know about. Hackers exploit these weaknesses before patches or updates are available, leaving users defenseless. These attacks are especially dangerous because they can bypass even the most up-to-date security systems. Hackers often use zero-day exploits to target specific organizations, but regular users can also fall victim. Keep all your software updated to minimize the risk of exposure to known vulnerabilities. Skimming involves hackers stealing your card information when you make physical transactions. They place tiny devices called skimmers on ATMs, gas pumps, or payment terminals. Some skimmers even have hidden cameras to record your PIN as you type it. Advanced versions, called shimmers, can steal chip card data. Always inspect card readers for anything unusual before inserting your card, and consider using contactless payment methods whenever possible. Fake apps mimic legitimate ones and trick users into downloading them. These apps might look and function like real ones, but they're designed to steal your information or install spyware. For example, a fake banking app could capture your login details as you enter them. They're often found in unofficial app stores, but can sometimes sneak onto legitimate platforms too. Always download apps from trusted sources and check reviews before installing. SIM swapping hackers trick your phone carrier into transferring your number to their SIM card. Once they have control of your number, they can intercept calls and texts, including two-factor authentication codes. This gives them access to your bank accounts, social media profiles, and other critical accounts. To prevent SIM swapping, set up a PIN or password with your carrier and use app-based authentication whenever possible. In a USB drop attack, hackers leave malicious USB drives in public places, hoping someone will plug one into their computer. These USB drives often contain malware that auto-installs when connected, giving hackers access to the system. Some even simulate a keyboard to execute commands on your computer. Never plug in an unknown USB drive, no matter how tempting it looks. Malvertising hackers embed malicious code in online advertisements, a tactic known as malvertising. These ads might appear on legitimate websites, making them hard to spot. Clicking on the ad can redirect you to a malicious site or trigger a download of harmful files. In some cases, the mere act of viewing the ad is enough to infect your device. Use ad blockers and keep your browser updated to reduce exposure to malvertising. QR codes are convenient, but they can also be weaponized by hackers. Scanning a malicious QR code can redirect you to a phishing site, download malware, or even make unauthorized transactions. Hackers often print fake QR codes and place them over legitimate ones. Before scanning, verify the source of the QR code and avoid scanning random ones in public spaces. Remote access tools, or RATs, are software that give hackers full control of your device, allowing them to access files, spy on you through your webcam and microphone, and even install additional malware. They're usually delivered via phishing emails or infected software. Because they operate silently in the background, you might not even know you've been compromised. Protect yourself by avoiding suspicious downloads and running regular antivirus scans. An evil twin is a rogue Wi-Fi network that mimics legitimate ones. Hackers set up these fake hotspots in public places, waiting for unsuspecting users to connect. Once you're on their network, they can monitor all your online activity, including passwords and sensitive transactions. Always confirm the network name with the provider before connecting, and use a VPN for added security. In supply chain attacks, hackers target third-party vendors or software providers that you rely on. By compromising these suppliers, they can infiltrate your systems indirectly. For example, malicious updates to a widely used software might install backdoors on thousands of devices. Even if your security measures are robust, vulnerabilities in your supply chain can put you at risk. Vet your suppliers carefully and ensure they follow strong cybersecurity practices. Weak passwords. Using simple passwords like 123456 or password makes you an easy target. Hackers use tools like brute force attacks to try thousands of password combinations in seconds. Reusing passwords across sites makes it even worse because one breach can expose multiple accounts. To secure your accounts, use complex passwords and a password manager to keep track of them. Always enable two-factor authentication when possible. Social engineering is a manipulation tactic used by hackers to trick you into revealing sensitive information. They often impersonate trusted individuals like coworkers, tech support, or even friends, and ask you to perform actions that compromise your security. These attacks don't require technical knowledge, as they rely on exploiting human trust. Always be cautious when receiving unexpected requests, especially for sensitive information, and verify the request through a different channel. Credential stuffing occurs when hackers take usernames and passwords from previous data breaches and try them on other websites. Since many people reuse passwords across multiple sites, a single breach can lead to the compromise of several accounts. Protect yourself by using unique passwords for each site and enabling two-factor authentication. A password manager can help manage and generate strong, unique passwords. IoT device hacks. Your smart thermostat, refrigerator, or even light bulbs can be vulnerable to hackers if they are connected to the internet. IoT devices often lack strong security features, making them easy targets for cybercriminals. Once compromised, hackers can control these devices or use them to launch attacks on other systems. Always change the default passwords on your IoT devices, keep their firmware updated, and use a separate network for your smart devices. Some browser extensions request excessive permissions and collect your browsing data. In the worst cases, they can inject malicious ads or steal sensitive information like passwords. Stick to well-known extensions with high ratings and avoid installing plugins from unknown or untrusted sources. Regularly review your extensions and disable or remove any that you no longer need or trust. Cryptojacking is when hackers secretly use your computer's resources to mine cryptocurrency. This can slow down your system, increase electricity costs, and harm your hardware over time. Cryptojacking typically happens through malware, hidden in websites or downloads. To prevent it, use ad blockers, keep your software updated, and scan your system regularly for malware. DNS spoofing. Also known as DNS cache poisoning, occurs when hackers redirect you to fake websites by tampering with your device's DNS settings. Even if you type in the correct URL, you could end up on a malicious site designed to steal your information. To protect against DNS spoofing, use a trusted DNS provider and secure your network with a firewall. Avoid clicking on suspicious links and always double-check website URLs. Fileless malware is a type of malicious software that doesn't leave any trace on your hard drive. It operates entirely in your system's memory, making it harder for traditional antivirus software to detect. This malware often spreads through phishing emails or malicious websites. Keep your system and software up to date and use behavior-based detection tools to identify and block this type of threat. Cross-site scripting is a vulnerability in websites where hackers inject malicious scripts into web pages. These scripts run in the browser of anyone visiting the infected page and can steal login credentials, cookies, and other sensitive data. To avoid XSS attacks, only visit trusted websites, use a secure browser, and consider using a browser extension that blocks malicious scripts. Deepfake scams use AI-generated audio or video to create convincing impersonations of people you know, often for malicious purposes. Hackers can use deepfakes to trick you into transferring money, revealing sensitive information, or clicking on dangerous links. To avoid falling victim, always verify requests through other communication channels and be cautious if something seems off or out of character. Physical access to your device can allow hackers to install malware or hardware-based spying tools like keyloggers. If your device is left unattended, hackers can plug in a USB device or gain control of your system. Always lock your devices when not in use, and consider using encryption to protect your sensitive files in case your device is stolen. Cloud accounts with weak passwords or poor security configurations are prime targets for hackers. Once they gain access, they can download or delete your files, exposing sensitive information. Use strong, unique passwords for cloud services and enable two-factor authentication for added protection. Be mindful of who has access to your cloud storage and regularly review permissions. Credential harvesting involves stealing login credentials through fake websites or malware. Hackers use these stolen credentials for further attacks or to sell them on the dark web. To protect yourself, be wary of fake login pages and always check the URL for authenticity before entering your credentials. Using a password manager can also help you avoid falling victim to phishing attacks. Smartphone cloning. Hackers can clone your smartphone by replicating its SIM card. This allows them to intercept calls, texts, and two-factor authentication codes, providing access to your accounts. To protect against smartphone cloning, use strong passwords, enable biometric authentication, and monitor your phone for unusual activity. Contact your carrier immediately if you suspect your number has been cloned. Hey, if you're interested in hacking and want to learn it yourself the fastest way possible, you can grab my pro hacking cheat sheet to get a head start. Link is in the comments. Happy hacking!